Familiar, you're familiar. So if you don't know by now, then you should probably get familiar.
Hello students, so welcome back to the next video. I think this is the video number part 7, isn't it? So in crystal structure, so this is the video of part 7. Now in this video I am going to discuss the concept called interplanar spacing in terms of Miller indices. Okay, so now already we have discussed what are Miller indices in the last videos, right? So what are the Miller indices? So suppose if you have a set of parallel planes, okay, imaginary planes in the crystal structure passing through various atoms so that they are equidistant to each other, isn't it? So the planes are equidistant to each other. Then how to find that equidistant between the two consecutive planes in the crystal plane? That is the question. Okay, so for the set of parallel planes, how to designate the Miller indices already you know. Okay, the procedure already discussed. Okay, so if you know that Miller indices, it is possible to find the interplanar spacing between the two consecutive planes, isn't it? So that is what the expression you have to derive. The relation between, also we can say the relation between interplanar spacing and the Miller indices of the set of parallel planes. Clear? Okay, now let us see how to derive that expression in this video. Okay, so let us consider a diagram. So what is this diagram indicates, you know? So here we have a cubic crystal system. The simplest one is the cubic crystal system, in which, so from any one of the corner you can consider the three coordinates, that is x, y and z. Correct? Okay, now the plane. So one of the plane is considered here, so that it is intersecting along all the three axes here. That means the plane A, B, C. You can see that the shaded plane is the given plane for you. So it is intercepting along x-axis at point A, along y-axis at point B, along z-axis at point C, isn't it? So these intercepts are represented in general as small x. Okay, that means origin to O, origin to A, origin to A. This length is considered as the intercept of the plane along x-axis, so you can take it as small x in general. Similarly, the intercept of the plane along y-axis is small y. You can write that small y here, okay, O to B. Similarly, the intercept of the plane along z-axis, OC, that is small z here, okay. OA is equal to x, OB is equal to y, OC is equal to z, okay. So x, y, z are the intercepts of the plane. Okay, now this plane after intersecting inside the cubic structure along xyz axis, okay, so to this particular plane there are various planes you can assume, right, according to the definition of interplanar spacing. Okay, so we can have the number of planes parallel to each other, so that, so this dotted line, let us say, assuming that the dotted line is passing through another passing through origin as another plane. Okay, so there are two planes just lying one below the other. Okay, they are lying one below the other, so that the interplanar spacing can be represented now as ON. Okay, so because this is the line drawn as normal to the plane. Okay, if you draw a line normal to the plane, then interplanar space is looking like this, isn't it? Exactly the perpendicular distance between the two planes, correct? So here ON is the perpendicular distance, so it is represented as small d. Okay, ON is the interplanar spacing, or we can say the gap, the perpendicular gap between the two consecutive planes in the set of parallel planes. Okay, now our aim is to find the value of d. Okay, that is the interplanar spacing, the value of d in terms of Miller indices. So Miller index of this plane is represented as HKL in general. Okay, so that you know already, HKL are the smallest integers according to Miller indices. HKL are the smallest integers of the planes. Okay, so in terms of this Miller indices HKL, you have to find the interplanar spacing d. So that expression you have to derive here. Clear? Okay, now let us consider what are the assumptions we made in the figure. Okay, so as I said, the plane ABC is considered as a given plane and represented as Miller indices. So you can write here HKL in small bracket as the Miller indices of the plane, Miller indices of the plane. Okay, then I said the interplanar spacing between the two consecutive planes is the perpendicular distance, that is d. Okay, so we can write that ON is equal to d as interplanar spacing of the family of the planes. What do you mean by family of the planes? If the planes are parallel to each other, okay, then we can say it is a family. So in that we are choosing the D as interplanar spacing of that particular planes. Clear? Okay. Then you look at the diagram again. So alpha, beta, gamma. Okay, you can consider that alpha, beta, gamma as angles between the coordinate axis XYZ with ON respectively. So where is that? So now I will show you that. Okay, ON is the perpendicular line ON. So this is making certain angles, isn't it? Along X axis let it be alpha and along Y axis let it be beta. Then ON is making the angle gamma along OC. Okay. So this alpha, beta, gamma are nothing but here the angles made by ON with X, Y, Z axis respectively. Okay, you can take that angles like this. Now what are these ABC, you know? So ABC are the magnitudes of the basis vectors, I said. So you can consider from any one of the corner as origin. So the three mutually perpendicular axes are nothing but the basis vectors, right? So basis vectors magnitudes are taken as, so okay, this is the basis vector A bar. So magnitude is from one corner to other corner, isn't it? So corner to corner length is called actually the magnitude of the basis vector A bar. So we write it as A. Okay, and similarly corner to corner along Y axis is the basis vector B bar. So its magnitude is B. Okay, similarly along Z axis also we have another basis vector C bar, so whose magnitude is C. So A, B, C are the magnitudes of the basis vectors. Okay, so after declaring all these parameters, so we can start according to the definition of Miller indices. So we can consider the intercepts of the plane. Okay, so already we have discussed how to find the intercepts of the plane on the three axes. Okay, so it is given by, so OA, OB, OC. Okay, they are intercepts in general X, Y and Z. Okay, so OA is equal to X, OB is equal to Y, OC is equal to Z. Okay, so according to the Miller indices definition, it is the ratio of A by H, B by K, C by L, where H, K, L in the denominator are the smallest integers, isn't it? They are smallest integers taken along A, B, C basis vectors respectively. Okay, so these ratios according to Miller we can write it as just intercepts only. Okay, so let it be equation number 1 for you. Now again come back to the figure. So in the figure, so we have alpha, beta, gamma as the angles made by the interplanar spacing, isn't it? So we can define the cos alpha. So we can make the triangle between O, N and A. Okay, so in this triangle, particular right angle triangle, cos alpha is equal to ON by OA, isn't it? ON by OA means adjacent side by hypotenuse. Okay, OA is adjacent side, ON is the hypotenuse. So similarly cos beta also forming a right angle triangle. In that case also ON by OB. Okay, cos gamma is equal to ON by OC. In all the cases, okay, so this ON is nothing but the hypotenuse, so that we can write the ratio in all the cases ON by OA, ON by OB, ON by OC. So already declared what is that ON? We have declared the ON as the interplanar spacing D. You can write that D. So OA already obtained here. OA is equal to the ratio X or A by H. You can just substitute it as A by H here. Similarly, ON is equal to D, OB is equal to B by K, isn't it? Okay, then OC is equal to C by L, it is here. Clear? Okay. Then rearrange the equation, you will get H in the numerator, HD by A, and then KD by B, and then LD by C. So set of equations we get it as 2. Okay, for cos alpha, cos beta and cos gamma. Okay. Now consider one identity. So in orthogonal coordinates, we have an identity called cos square alpha plus cos square beta plus cos square gamma is always equal to 1, isn't it? So we have the equations for cos alpha, cos beta, cos gamma already in the equation 2, right? Just substitute it now. So from equation 2, so cos alpha, it is actually square, you know. So you should consider S square into D square by A square. So cos square is equal to S square D square by A square. Similarly, cos square beta is equal to, from equation 2 again, K square D square by B square plus L square D square by C square is equal to 1 from the identity. Okay, next step is just simplification. You take the D as common. In terms of Miller indices, DHKL, so D is taken common. So left with inside the bracket S square by A square plus K square by B square plus L square by C square is equal to 1 again. Okay, so by cross multiplication we get the required equation here. So DHKL square actually is equal to 1 by a square plus k square by b square plus l square by c square. Okay, so D, actually we want D, so you have to put the square root on that. By taking square root on both sides, you will get the expression for DHKL. So that is the expression for the interplanar spacing in terms of Miller indices. Okay, and it is applicable for any crystal systems. So that is cubic, tetragonal and orthorhombic, where the condition orthogonal coordinate is applicable. Okay, so particularly for cubic we can simplify the equation. So because for cubic A is equal to B, B is equal to C, you can just take it as simply A. Okay, if you substitute all denominators A, B, C as A only, then you will get the expression for the interplanar spacing as just A divided by square root of a square plus k square plus l square only. Okay, so you can look at the equation. A square plus k square plus l square, square root is there, and a square b square b c square is just a square. Square root of a square is equal to only a, so you take it in the numerator, so that you will get the equation for interplanar spacing in terms of Miller indices. Particularly for what? It is only for cubic crystal structure. Like that you can derive the general equation for interplanar spacing, and then further we can reduce the equation for cubic crystal system also. Clear? Okay, so just to go through this because it is very important for you in the examination. Okay, the derivation part, and even for numerical problems. Okay, both the equations are useful, this equation and for cubic equation also useful to solve the many numerical problems. Clear? Okay, then I will see you in the next video.